Hey everyone, my book finally arrived. So, Plague of Corruption by Dr. Judy Mitovits. The author, she was jailed for a few days because she refused to pull back a paper that went against scientific principles at the time. And she had a gag order against her for 5 years. You may have seen stuff about her. If you see anything, it basically is anything in, Google, YouTube, all of the regular media is all very anti Dr. Judy Mitovits, but she's really quite an amazing woman. And the foreword is by Robert Kennedy Jr. And I wanted to read you some of that. I've sort of been going over it the last few days. I'm not much of a fast reader because I actually love really taking in information. So even though I did a speed reading course when I was, 15, 16 or something like that, it's not the way my brain works. But she's one of these women who got into medical science when she was about 25 years old, and she was involved in helping her boss isolate HIV virus. So she's got a really quite spectacular background, and she entered professional science from the University of Virginia with a BA degree in chemistry on 10th of June 1980, and a protein chemist for the National Cancer Institute, working on a life-saving project to purify interferon. The quality of her work and her reliable flashes of genius soon propelled her to the apex of the male-dominated world of scientific research. At NCI, Mitovits began what would become a 20-year collaboration with Dr. Frank Rechetti, a pioneer in the field of human retrovirology. While heading up the lab of Robert Gallo in 1977, Rechetti made scientific history by co-discovering with Bernie Poitz the first human retrovirus, HTLV1, human T-cell leukemia virus. A retrovirus is a stealth virus that, like HIV, enters the host without alerting the immune systems. It may then lie dormant for years without causing harm. Before killing a person, a retrovirus will usually destroy their immune system. As a result, many retroviruses cause cancer. With an escalating understanding of retrovirus behavior, the Rechetti-Mitovits collaboration and Mitovits' award-winning PhD thesis from George Washington University in 1991 changed the paradigm of HIV/AIDS treatment, turning this disease from a death sentence into a manageable condition. So she's one of these amazing human beings, and because I've got my immune protocol that I've been working on building for the last 10 years or so with kinesiology, I find retroviruses all the time, and I was always of the understanding until I started hearing Dr. Judy speaking about it like 3, 4, 5 months ago. Of course, as soon as anything goes up on YouTube or Facebook, it gets taken down as quickly as anything, and this might too, who knows? Who knows if the bots are listening, but whatever. But once I started hearing her speaking, one of the understandings that she believes is because in our vaccinations we use animal tissue, those animal tissues, if they have viruses, if they have retroviruses and they get into our DNA structure, they can change the way that our bodies work. So that's partly why, anyway, we'll sort of get there. But I've been working on retroviruses with people's immune systems for maybe 10 years now. And from my perspective, the best things I've been able to use to start cleaning the DNA and the genetic structure of the retroviruses has been things like the sulforaphane, sulfuraclear, the Brock shots, making sure you're having plenty of your broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, wasabi, or they're in the family of things that are high in sulforaphane. But also N-acetylcysteine seems to be really beneficial, as does really big doses of vitamin C and N-acetylcysteine. So those things can also really help. So anyway, back to Dr. Judy. From the outset, the most daunting obstacle to Mitovits' career advancement was her scientific integrity. She placed it ahead of personal ambition. Judy Mitovits never was never meant to wade into public health brawl. She never considered herself a renegade or revolutionary. Judy's relatives mainly worked in government and law enforcement. They believed in the bedrock American principles of hard work, respect for authority, and above all, telling the truth. That backdrop made it impossible for her to abandon her high natal standards of honesty and integrity, even when they became a hindrance. Sounds sort of like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as well. With being in the Kennedy family, I imagine once you have a belief system, it's hard to let that go as well. After leaving the NIH, she worked a stint for Upjohn, leading a project to prove the safety of the company's blockbuster bovine growth hormone. When Mitovits discovered the company's formula could cause precancerous changes in human cell cultures, she refused direct orders from her boss to hide her discoveries. Mitovits' revelation suggested that the ubiquitous presence of the hormone in milk could lead to breast cancer in women who drank it. Her refusal to back down precipitated her departure from Upjohn and her return to NIH and graduate school. Judy's war on BGH eventually led to Upjohn abandoning the project. In 2009, now in academia, sorry, I'm Australian, I nearly went straight to macadamia. Now in academia, Mitovits and Raschetti, who was still at NCI, led a team that discovered a strong association between a previously unknown retrovirus and ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis, commonly known as chronic fatigue syndrome. ME and chronic fatigue syndrome. Predictably, the retrovirus was also linked to certain blood cancers. Collaborators named it xenotropic murine leukemia-related virus, XMRV, when they first detected it in DNA sequences in prostate cancers a few years earlier. I might actually stop there and I might start a new one talking about the XMRV because this is really cool. Anyway, so that's the first part of the book, Plague of Corruption, Dr. Judy Mitovits. I'm going to just read I have a little couple of segments because I'm loving it. Hope you get a copy. It just gives you a real insight into the world of pharmaceutical industries. Anyway, take care. Have a good one.